Hello everyone, welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc. and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc. and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc. and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day. How goes the family? How goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. It is Tuesday. We are doing it, and I'm glad that I'm staying on my consistent schedule of going live. I know I should be going live earlier and whatnot, but time does not permit it, and we got to do this thing while we can. All right. So if you're watching right now, do the great three free things: like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Tonight's basically going to be more of a rant than anything else. Than I've done usually do. Have my script and all that stuff, but because the main reason why I want to talk about a great iconic figure, a lot of times we don't give enough credit to this particular civil rights advocate, but more of a not only just a civil rights advocate, but economic advocate. And this is a gentleman before the time of Malcolm X, before the time of Martin Luther King, even before Marcus Garvey. Um, and I learned more about Booker T. Washington when I found out that he was actually working with the gentleman that helped create the community in Riverside, California. Um, and that's if you go to downtown Riverside, you'll see that at the I forgot the name of the hotel, but it's a historic hotel. It's the biggest and fanciest historic hotel in downtown Riverside, California. Mission Inn Hotel. That's what it is. I knew it would come to me eventually, but anyways, and I found out that he was traveling around the country, traveling around the world, being a very prestigious African American of his time. And he did a great job of playing both sides of the field, because that's what you got to do in anything in life: job, business. You can't just please one specific, as they call, um, client, customer, coworker, boss, employee. A lot of times you have to, even if I mean, it's like I said, if I said this, on Sunday, if everybody acted like Monique when they didn't get their way at their job, then nobody would get their way. I mean, nobody, society couldn't function. That's just what it is. A lot of times you have to play both sides of the field. Even certain media outlets, they play both sides of the field because they have an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But anyways, let's get into the bio of Mr. Booker T. Washington before I go any further. For those that do not know who he is, the iconic figure. He was born between 1856 and 1915 is when he passed away. He was born into slavery, and he wrote a great book called Up From Slavery. So if you haven't read that, check it out. And he became a leading African American intellectual of the 19th century, founding Tuskegee Normal and Industrial Institute, now known as Tuskegee University, in 1881, and the National Negro Business League 2 decades later. And this is why he gets my respect, because not only was he about African Americans approaching things from an educational standpoint, but he was definitely pro Black business. So that's why they had the National Negro Business League back then. He advised President Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft. His infamous conflicts between with Black leaders like W.E. Du Bois over segregation caused a stir, but today he is remembered as the most influential African American speaker of his time. And that's the most resilient thing about the people that came up from slavery in the United States of America and African Americans. Because unlike other people that came to the United States, they were not giving any special, outside of having a Freedmen's Bank, they were not given any special um, stimulus packages. They weren't given money. Matter of fact, even a lot of their previous masters were actually financially compensated for having to release their slaves, because it was a business in America. Whether you want to believe it or not, or whether you like it or not, everything in America is about a business and whatnot. That's one of the most interesting things that's never talked about in a Revolutionary War, is the fact that the Southern, like, everything's about debt. This shows you how far back the debt principle goes. The first actual war that America had, the American Revolutionary War, um, as because they weren't quote unquote a country yet, they were considered the colonies at the time. Every state had to borrow from other countries and whatnot, and they had debts, because war costs, everything costs money. And the number one states that actually were able to pay off the debts before the other colonies were the southern states, because they had free labor. Unlike now, I know that slavery happened in certain parts of the northern states, and I'm not trying to get in an argument, so just stay with me here. But money talks and everything else walks. I'm coming at this from an economic standpoint. I don't need to get into anything else, but that's, like South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, they were able to, my home state of Virginia, they were able to pay off their debts before other states that were quote unquote free states. Maryland was able to pay off their debts before Pennsylvania, before Massachusetts, before New York State and all that good stuff. So these are the things that that I find very interesting. I'm somewhat of a history buff, but anyways, because the thing is, Booker T. Washington, who's actually named Booker Taliaferro Washington, was born in my home state of Virginia, in Franklin County, Virginia. His mother was a cook for the plantation owner. His father was actually a white man, was unknown to Washington, because that happened a lot of me. That's why my skin complexion is the way it is to this day. But at the close of the Civil War, all enslaved people owned by James and Elizabeth Burroughs, including 9-year-old Booker, his siblings, and his mother, were freed. Jane moved her family to Meldon, West Virginia, soon after she married Washington Ferguson, a free black man. So it's very, very interesting, when you look at his track record and the things that he's done, especially given the fact where he came from. And I was reminded today that the word "can't" is probably one of the worst words on the planet, because you hear the story of the immigrant that comes to the United States with not much in their pocket or nothing in their pocket, and they figure out a way to get things done. Um, and the thing, from the generation of foundational Black Americans who came from slavery and were able to come together and make some money, so many money moves on so many different levels, owning land, owning businesses, being educators, priding themselves in being professionals and whatnot. A lot of times, especially in the South, like great example, if African Americans couldn't go to medical school and whatnot, they would go to northern states where it would still be segregated, but they could actually attend the specific medical schools so that they could become doctors, dentists, and whatnot. And so that, and a lot of times they would go back down south so that the people in the community, and that they would teach people to become these certain professionals so that people in the community could actually benefit from having quality health care, you know. And and they had a business outside of that as well. So, it was a win-win situation for the customer and for the medical business owner, things of that nature. People don't think about these things enough, because you can't really have a community if you're not talking economics and business. You can be the best parent, best spouse. You can be devout in your faith and your religion and all that great stuff. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you're not talking about economics, as I told a friend of mine last week, then you're not really talking about anything else. And I'm just going to keep it real on that note. All right. But this is so some of my favorite quotes, because we're in 2022, we're halfway through the year, and the title of this stream is "Was Booker T. Washington Right?" It's like I said, I'm not getting into debates. I'm not trying to have any unnecessary arguments, because give me your opinion. That's all I need to know. Do you agree with this or you don't? It's nothing to be talked about. I mean, we don't need to talk it out and whatnot, because a lot of people like to do that and waste time instead of be productive. You know what I mean? And I want to be productive in the conversation. Like, I want a way forward debate, not a argue Fox News CNN debate. I don't need that nonsense. That doesn't do anything for me. And people can get that enough on regular cable television programming and whatnot. So I leave it at that. So I'm going to read some other quotes later, but I'm going to read the main quote, because I'm not going to really be on that long tonight. The main quote that really sparked for me to say, hey, I want to look into, I want to go live and have a discussion and whatnot. So, but anyways, so here's the quote. One of my favorite, it literally is my favorite quote from Booker T. Washington. Economic independence is the foundation of political independence. Economic independence is the foundation of political independence. And I wanted to talk about that quote tonight, because um, I grew up in the DMV area in Virginia, Northern Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia specifically, 35, 40 minutes south of Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. And I've seen from high school to now, as a grown man that's 39 years old. So I've seen from 2001, 2002 to 2022, how a community of people, I'll call it out specifically the Hispanic community. I'm not saying anything bad about them or any other community, but I'm saying within a 18 to 20-year time frame, I've seen a dramatic shift economically of a group of people who most of them could not vote, or because they were here, or they didn't care about voting because they cared about getting their economic house in order. And if they do vote, great. They vote Republican, they vote Democrat, they vote Independent, whatever. But I've seen within a 20-year cycle of people being about their business. Now, doesn't mean that this particular group is 100% perfect. No. Everybody, no matter what color anybody is, religion they are, gender they are, everybody, you got crazy people, you got good people, you got stupid people, you got smart people everywhere. So let's just stay with me on this one. But where I'm going is within a 18 to 20-year time frame, I've seen a multitude of, whether it's a barbershop, beauty salon, restaurant, construction business, landscaping business, car garage, franchise, real estate franchising, um, all construction company, all these kind of companies and whatnot, created via people having either people having 2 to 3 families living in a house, apartment, whatever, and they're taking equity out of those homes and purchasing more real estate, or purchasing actual businesses and whatnot, putting their dollars together, and then leasing out certain aspects of the business. Even the one Exxon that Exxon gas station that's down the street from the neighborhood I grew up in is owned by a Hispanic family and whatnot, and they have a taco truck in the parking lot of a gas station. Some usually don't see that often. But I'm saying that because I've seen a group of people within the last 18 to 20 years get the economic house in order. And now, because they have their economic house in order, now they're going for the political play. Meaning, I see like there's a congressional election going on, and I see a lot of people who are of Hispanic background running for Congress, running for local county government. Even one person's running for president or whatnot. Some are Democrats, some are Republicans, but they have their economic house in order. So now they're getting the political house in order in the state of Virginia. Now, is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. Because when a group of people are focused on the things that matter, even though they have their nonsense, every community has their ratchetry, every community has good people and criminals and whatnot. They're still got the majority still has the economic and political play in hand. And that's why this is my favorite quote from Booker T. Washington, because as African Americans in the United States of America and anywhere around the world, but specifically the United States of America, if you're not talking economics, then regardless of who's in the White House, um, governor's house, and mayor's house, it doesn't matter. Because if you're not getting things done in your house, then it's totally irrelevant. Now, I know the powers that be, quote unquote, the national media will beg to differ on that because they have their agenda, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the beautiful thing about the United States is you have the opportunity to ignore everyone's agenda and have your own agenda. It's not against the law. Because I was just thinking hypothetically today, what if the next couple elections, people just stood out on like, say if everybody, all backgrounds in the United States of America, just sat every single election out for the next 2 years. State elections, county, city elections, federal elections, just sat it out. What would happen? And then specifically, I say, what if the African American community took a year off of just not voting? Just saying, you know what, we need to focus on our economics. Who we spend our money with, who we bank with, holds way more power than who we vote for. Like I said, you vote, you don't vote, don't care who you vote for. This is not that discussion. Um, because as one gentleman told me who owns a fleet of 7-Elevens and whatnot, even though he became an American citizen years ago, the 7-Eleven I used to go to, he says him and his family really don't worry about casting votes. We've been working on ways to write checks. And in the beautiful country of America, when you know how to write a check and when you can write a check, you hold way more power than a group of people standing in line casting votes. And when I say that, a lot of people want to get in the uproar and they want to get upset and bliggity blah blah blah. But I'm just saying, economic independence transforms into political independence. Can't put it any other way. The biggest group of people that own the most smallest businesses are people of Asian descent, and they not only take care of themselves from an economic standpoint, but the politicians come to them asking what can they do for them, especially if they contribute to their specific campaign. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. But worrying about what some politician says or not says is kind of irrelevant right now. Um, Especially you see with the cost of everything. It's just like that's why I said it's like when you can focus on your economics, that matters more than anything else in this world because everybody got comfortable during the time frame. This and once again, this is why we say being in the comfort zone is a death sentence because a lot of people got comfortable. They got very, very comfortable. Only because we had all the stimulus money going on, and you got everybody got comfortable spending money. They got their checks, and a lot of people weren't focusing on three things: trying to increase their income, trying to increase their savings, trying to increase their asset classes. Hell, even trying to improve your credit and whatnot. Like these things from an economic standpoint matter. And now, with the price of gas and food going up the way that it is, a lot more people are, savings are going to go down. They're suffering and whatnot. I'm not making light of this whatsoever because I think it's jacked up. But when you focus more on clowning around and not and talking about things that don't matter and that's irrelevant, you know, like I'll do that every now and then, but you're not going to see me on my channel talk about that too often. Like now, the big thing is Michael B. Jordan. The woman broke up with him, and that's making head waves and whatnot. Like, who cares? It's like once again, we get too. The only reason we get too obsessed with talking about celebrities just a little bit too much in this country, and I think it's a lot of times it's sad. This it's like especially people that are adults. It's one thing as a teenager and a kid doing it, but and the only reason why I talked about the Monique and DL Hughley situation on Sunday was because I wanted to elaborate from a business standpoint. Look, it's about the money. You got to be about your business. And it's like Monique, you live in this nice mansion in Los Angeles. You can't afford to not be about your business. Okay, especially now in today's world and nowadays. It's like, come on now, focus on your paper. Most people, when they go to their job, you're not there to make friends. You're not there to be Mr. and Mrs. Popularity. You're there to do your job and get paid and go to hell home. Very simple concept. And some people like her should try it sometime. And I'm gonna say it like that because I'm very disappointed. It's like it is what it is. But what was I about to say? But anyways, so that's one of my favorite quotes by Booker T. Washington. Focus. Economic independence before political independence. That holds the power at the end of the day. When you can write a check, when you have assets, when not only assets as buildings and as businesses and investments and whatnot, but assets as in the kind of people that you associate with and the kind of people that you invest in. You know, that's my mindset. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is at the end of the day. And I think at the end of the day, he was right. Booker T. Washington was right about the political independence. I mean, the economic independence. At the end of the day, I'll read it again. Economic independence is the foundation of political independence. And he's absolutely right. I could not agree with that statement more. And I don't think he was wrong. But if you think he was wrong, let me know in the chat. I'm going to read a couple of other quotes by Mr. Washington, rest his soul and whatnot. Because it seems like, because like I said, that generation between when slavery, quote unquote, was officially abolished within the United States of America from that time up to the 1950s and 60s, whether people want to believe it or not, um, from an economic standpoint, that was the best time in the history for African American economic history in Africa for African Americans. Now, unfortunately, racism, even with racism and even with segregation and whatnot, economically, that was the best time of life for African Americans from an economic standpoint. Not to say things haven't gotten better since then, and things are decent now and whatnot, but just as far as business ownership and home ownership was much more higher during that time frame. I'm talking about a time frame where there a lot of places did not have running water or electricity. You know, that's why when I was reminded today that word can't is a very bad word. I agree with that. Don't tell me something's impossible. Okay, especially in the United States of America. Don't tell me something's impossible because people get it done all the freaking time. All right. Other quotes before I call it a night. Booker T. Washington stated, he said, "The happiest people are those who do the most for others. The most miserable are those who do the least." I could not agree with that statement more. It's like a lot of times people have the most, they might not even get paid a lot, but they, from teachers to people that work in the medical profession to advocates for abused women and abused children or whatnot, or just abused people in general. A lot of times those people that work at orphanages, people who are social workers, they are very passionate about trying to help people out of this. People that work at homeless shelters, you know, they're very, very, very passionate about helping, very, very passionate about helping. Thought I saw a spider. I can't stand spiders. They're very, very passionate about ensuring that people get access to the right services that they need. People that work, for welfare offices, housing offices, housing authorities. They're very passionate about what they do. Trying to help people get what they need to get done and things of that nature. Even sometimes people work for immigration offices and whatnot. So being able to give back is a very beautiful thing. People that volunteer at churches, people that work at churches. Number two, success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome. I could not agree with that statement more, because a lot of times we measure success over items instead of measuring success over the things that we've actually gotten done. Another quote: "If you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else up." And that's what, and I was having a conversation today. It's like, because one of the saddest things in today's world is that so many people are so self-indulged and self-involved with themselves that trying to help anybody else out, they look at it as being beneath them and whatnot. Now, unfortunately, a lot of times, say I agree. A lot of times when you help other people out, they will take it for granted. But you've done a good deed. You got to move on with your life. I can't put it any other way. All right. And this is another one of my favorite quotes: "Opportunities never come a second time, nor do they wait for our leisure." I could not. A lot of times when an opportunity comes, you got to jump on it. I can't tell you how many times I've missed working on specific going after certain things because I was afraid of what me failing in life. We've all had that in our lives. So and those opportunities, a lot of times they never come back. Another one: "Associate yourself with people of good quality, for it is better to be alone than to be in bad company." Man, and I put this post on Facebook the other day, and because I don't want to be around anybody that's toxic. I don't want to be around anybody that's negative all the time, man, because it's very, very easy to find people like that for some odd reason. I never understood it myself, but it's always been one of the biggest pain in the butts on the planet to even think about it. It's just like people love to bring you down, especially when they see you. Like I remember somebody saying, "Why are you smiling? Why are you so happy?" You know, people just you know, just jer- just I remember when I had my first job after being a janitor. This is a long time ago. And this one hateful somebody, not gonna mention her name, was like, "What are you smiling at?" I said, "Don't get mad because I'm happy and I don't have to work as hard as you." You know. And then of course she got offended when I said that, but I kept it real. I'm just like, you know, I don't I don't know about you all out there, but I like smiling and being happy. Being miserable is something I can't afford to be. Give me a thumbs up in the chat room if you feel me on that one. Being miserable is something I can't afford to be. Life is too freaking short. But a lot of people, they like to stay in a little world where they not only are they miserable, but they constantly bringing everybody else down. And like I said, that's just, for me, that's not my style. I can't put it any other way. Here it is. Here's the saying. I put this on Facebook on Sunday. I said, "I'm not hanging around nobody that's always sad, mad, jealous, irritated, or offended about everything. You ain't fitting to drain me." And that is the freaking truth. Especially people like this, the ones that are offended about everything. They're the ones that are ruining comedy shows, because they'll be the first one, um, they'll be the first ones to complain um, about something on a regular basis because or be offended by something. I'm like, well, if you don't like certain words, especially cussing, then don't go to a comedy show. It's really simple. Don't ruin it for the rest of the society because those it's like you only got a certain amount of areas that are left in the world for adults where they can go without having to be constantly freaking judged, for being who they are. It's like the most peaceful thing is to be able to be who you are. I don't care what race you are, I don't care what background you come from. The most comfortable thing that one can have in this life is to be able to be themselves. So if that's why this whole I got to change somebody to mold them to who no, you got to be who you are at the end of the day because regardless if you're married, regardless if you have kids, you got to be comfortable with who you are because to me, from a mental health standpoint, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just giving my perspective. Um, the most healthiest thing for anyone is to be able to be who the hell they are. It's like I mean, we at work, yeah, you have to put on a little bit of a front. That's any job and whatnot. If everybody was 100% themselves, then nobody would have a job. Even around certain family members or whatnot. But you got to be able. To me, it's very healthy for an adult to be able to be in a position where they can be themselves, be around people where they can be themselves, say what they want to say how they want to say it, and do what they do. All right. So I just have to put it on the pin. I had to put the pin on the tail on that one for real. Egotism is the antithesis that dulls the pain of stupidity. Yes, and we live in one of the biggest egotistic societies on the planet, where if people like a lot of people like people around them that stroke their ego instead of telling them where they're doing wrong. I don't mind being told if I'm doing wrong. Correct me because I know that I can be corrected. I don't know everything. All right. But a lot of people think they know everything. And what blows me a lot is to be around somebody that acts like they know everything, especially when you're showing them empirical evidence that contradicts everything they just said. But what do I know, right? But anyways, that is it in regards to the quotes and how I think that he was right on a lot of things, especially the economic aspect of thing. Um, And last but not least, the world cares very little what you or I know, but it does care a great deal about what you or I do. We live in an era of a lot of talking and no action. And it ain't about what you say a lot of times, family. It's about what you do. These little actions, big actions, those things matter all at the same time. All right. And a lot of times you ain't got to tell somebody how you like, even if you go from a love or a relationship standpoint, you ain't got to tell somebody how you feel about them. Let your actions speak louder. Because as I always used to say back in the day, I can show you better than I can tell you. Okay. And that's just what it is. Or if you about doing business and whatnot, you can show somebody better than you can tell them. Anybody can do a lot of talking nowadays, especially in the world of social media and podcasting and whatnot, but actions speak louder than words. And I used to be around a person, still a great guy, but he used to like to talk a lot, but there was no action behind those words. Unfortunately, I'm not around him as much as I used to be anymore because I don't like to be around people that are not about their action. And I can't put it any other way, family. But anyways, that is it for me. Hopefully you guys have a great night. Don't forget to check out my online store. Don't forget to, if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, Crypto.com, Coinbase, all that good stuff. With all those platforms, you'll be able to make some money when you sign up, especially with WEBULL. You get up to $700 worth of free stock. So, hey, if you're about making money move so you don't live broke like a fool, think about signing up. But on that note, hopefully you guys have a great, great, great night. Thank you guys for tuning in and for watching. And let me know, do you think that it was Booker T. Washington right about in regards to people having their economic house in order instead of just their political house in order? Because money talks in the United States of America, everything else walks. A lot of people don't want to agree with that. But it is what it is. Thank you everybody for jumping up on here. Thank you for the Cash App. Thank you for the PayPal donation. I always put that back into my channel and my businesses. So you guys are awesome out there. That's all I gotta say. Keep doing what you do out there. Got nothing but love for you all in a real, real, real big way. All right. I love doing this, and you guys show me love. Help me want to do it even some more. On some realness. All right. On that note, as I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live bro like a fool. Don't let anybody stand in the way of your greatness. Keep doing what you're doing out there, family. Let the haters hate, but it's time for you to regulate. All right? Take care.
Michael. Now.